Let's go Broncos! Something very unexpected has just happened in the heart of the Broncos, and it's not what you imagine. No trades, no big moves, but the silence from the Denver Broncos front office has created one of the biggest stories of the season, and I'll tell you why. While the rest of the NFL went on a shopping spree at the trade deadline, Denver stood still. And what seemed like inaction may actually be a calculated decision that could define our chances of reaching the Super Bowl. What's happening inside the Valley? What did Sean Payton and George Payton really see in this team that made them stay calm? Trust me, you'll want to know all the details, because things are getting very serious. Before we begin, don't forget to like if you believe the Broncos are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. And if you're part of this Broncos family, loyal to the death, leave a comment saying, "Go Broncos! We're different this year." Now let's go. So here's where things stand. The Broncos, sitting pretty at 7-2 and first in the AFC West, are on a 6-game winning streak. The only other team matching that streak is the New England Patriots. That's no small feat. Denver is in a great position, both in standings and momentum, and while many of us were craving a major addition, the front office decided to stand pat. But why? Sean Payton and George Payton sent a clear message. They believe in this group. At his post-deadline press conference, Payton stated, "We like this group, and we like where we're going." That's not just a throwaway line, it's a definitive stance. They didn't feel the need to panic, overpay, or disrupt the chemistry that's clearly building within this team. And when you look at how this team is winning, resilient defense, clutch fourth-quarter play, and steady development from key young players, it's hard to argue with their decision. Still, many fans feel that a move could have propelled the team to another level, especially when offensive weapons like Waddle and Wilson were reportedly available. But according to sources like Zach Stevens and even insiders like Jeremy Fowler and Ian Rappaport, while the Broncos were making calls, they weren't going to force anything. That passive posture speaks volumes. It means confidence. Confidence in Bo Nix. Confidence in Marvin Mims. Confidence in the development of Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, and Evan Engram. These aren't household names yet, but they're rising stars with real potential. One name that came up was Rashid Shaheed, a burner, a deep threat, someone who could stretch the field. But again, Denver didn't bite. Marvin Mims, they believe, brings enough speed and playmaking ability, even if he's still more effective after the catch than as a pure vertical threat. And don't forget, the Broncos are armed with 10 draft picks heading into 2026. That's a war chest of future assets, which means if the right opportunity arises down the road, they'll have the ammunition to strike. Meanwhile, teams around the league were making moves. The Colts, now leading the AFC, went bold and added Sauce Gardner. That's a huge defensive addition. Some may argue they overpaid, but that move signals something important. They're going all in. And while that's not the approach Denver took this week, it does raise the question, should we have matched that level of aggression? It's a fair debate. Still, let's not forget the core of this Broncos squad is really good. We're not grasping at straws or trying to patch holes. We're reinforcing a structure that's already solid. And yes, the wide receiver room might not be the best in the league. And sure, there are some drop issues and timing hiccups with Nix on deeper throws, but development is happening. There's a process in motion, and the Broncos are betting on growth from within. And speaking of George Payton, he's catching some heat from parts of the fan base, but let's give credit where it's due. He's made smart, team-friendly signings. He's constructed a top-tier defense. He hasn't mortgaged the future for a quick fix. That patience might just pay off come playoff time. We're entering the second half of the season with momentum, health, and a locker room that genuinely believes it can go all the way. Because here's the thing, when you're 7-2 on a 6-game heater and sitting atop the AFC West, it's not about desperation. It's about strategy. The Broncos didn't act like a team scrambling to fix something broken. They acted like a team that knows exactly who they are and where they're going. The foundation is in place, the culture is shifting, and that's something fans haven't been able to say with full confidence in a long time. And let's talk more about Bo Nix. He might not be lighting up the stat sheet with deep ball accuracy just yet, but the progress is undeniable. He's showing poise, confidence, and a command of the offense that's rare for a young quarterback. Sure, there are timing issues, every rookie deals with that, but what you're seeing from Nix in crunch time, that matters. His fourth-quarter play is a major reason this team has rattled off 6 straight wins. He's making the right reads. He's protecting the football. He's showing signs of becoming that guy. And that's exactly why Sean Payton didn't feel the need to overpay for a name like Debo or Waddle. Then there's the defense, arguably the backbone of this team. One of the best in the league, filled with playmakers and anchored by stars like Patrick Surtain. If Sauce Gardner fetched the haul he did, just imagine what Surtain could command. But Denver's not dealing those pieces. They're building around them. This is a defense that bends but doesn't break, gets crucial stops when it counts, and is the envy of many around the NFL. So no, they didn't need to chase a defensive upgrade. They've already got the pieces. The idea of development is central here. Troy Franklin is slowly emerging as a legitimate threat. Evan Ingram is finally finding rhythm in this offense. Pat Bryant is getting more looks and more trust. Marvin Mims, despite not yet being a consistent vertical option, is explosive in space. The Broncos are not star hunting. They're investing in the growth of the guys already in the building. And that could be the X factor come playoff time. Chemistry, continuity, confidence. Another angle worth considering is the financial landscape. The Broncos don't have much cap space at the moment, but that's going to change in 2026. And with 10 picks in the next draft, George Payton is setting the stage for a franchise that can be aggressive when it really counts, when the window is wide open. This isn't just about 2025. It's about building a sustainable contender that can compete year in and year out. That long-term vision? It's refreshing. It's rare. And it's exactly what a franchise that's been stuck in mediocrity for too long needs. There's also a locker room dynamic at play. Making a big trade sends a message, but so does standing pat. It tells the guys in that room, we believe in you. That matters. That creates buy-in. That fuels confidence. That says the coaching staff and front office trust the men on the field to get the job done. Sometimes, that's more valuable than adding another name to the depth chart. Of course, some fans are still disappointed, and that's fair. You want to see your team go all in when you feel the moment is right. You want excitement. You want a reason to believe this is the year. But what if that moment isn't at the trade deadline? What if it's in January, when this team is playing in front of a packed Empower Field crowd during a home playoff game? What if this quiet deadline sets the stage for something even bigger? Because when you really step back and look at it, this isn't the same old Broncos. This team is not chasing headlines, they're chasing hardware. Sean Payton isn't here for a rebuild. He's here for a ring. And the confidence to not make a move at the deadline? That might just be the most underrated power move of the season. Now, with 9 games down and 8 to go, the road ahead is clear. The Raiders, the Jaguars, the Chargers, they're all on the schedule. Every game is another chance to prove that Denver's silence at the deadline wasn't hesitation, but precision. Every game is a test of whether this team, as it stands, has enough. And based on what we've seen so far, there's plenty of reason to believe they do. But it all comes down to execution. This final stretch of the season is going to define the 2025 Broncos. Can Bo Nix elevate again? Can the wide receivers clean up the drops? Can the defense continue to dominate late in games? The answers to those questions will determine whether this season ends in heartbreak or history. So Broncos country, it's your turn. I want to know, do you agree with the front office's decision to stand firm at the trade deadline? Or do you think they missed a rare chance to elevate this team to championship level? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any future updates. I've got another video coming up on screen right now. Make sure to check it out. I'll see you in the next one. Go Broncos!